All right, guys, I'm going to get started today. Thank you so much for attending. For those of you that are new, my name is Josh Wise. I am the VP of Client Services. I've been here at rezStream for 11 years, and my role here at rezStream is to make sure that clients are happy, clients understand our various solutions, and are learning constantly how to utilize those solutions. Make sure that you guys are getting the most bang for your buck, and make sure that those charges that you're paying for those services are valuable and returning an investment for you guys. This particular webinar is scheduled monthly. It's the last Wednesday of every single month, and it is focused on our cloud reservation software. So this is a usability webinar where I'll go over various different features, functionality within the software, provide some advice, consultation, share examples of how other people are utilizing some of these features. I also look at support tickets, and if there's a common recurring thing there that's coming in from clients, then I'll talk about how to use it, why it works the way it does, and things like that. Also cover new features if I didn't mention that. So that's the purpose of these monthly webinars, so thank you for attending. We record all of these webinars, and I try to keep them to 30 minutes or less, so if you have to cut out or you miss one, we do put that inside of our reservation software application. So if you click on this little bell icon and go view latest news and updates under usability webinars as well, where you will be able to see what that topic was about and then watch that video at your leisure. A couple things I want to cover here first before I kind of get rolling is if you have any ideas or usability feedback, please feel free to email me or call me directly. I want to hear from everyone about anything all the time. It's how we make our products better for you and your business operations. The next release that we're going to be coming out with, guys, is scheduled for next week, about Thursday of next week, which I believe is the 4th of February. And the focus of that release is making the pictures on our booking engine larger, more visually appealing to your guests logging in and utilizing the booking engine. For our Q1 roadmap of releases, we're looking at both discounts as it relates to rates, so a quicker, easier, more efficient way to be able to apply a discount instead of going into the back end and dealing with adjusting rates, seasons, and rate plans, as well as we'll be looking to integrate an EMV chip and PIN terminal into our credit card application, so that way you guys can have that security as well as avoid any chargebacks from customers, and that will be a component of our Shift4 payment processing for those of you utilizing that service. Last thing here is we've got a list of educational resource guides on our website. Here is the link on our website to get that. Those guys are very good guys in terms of education, examples, things to do, and they're broken down into how to drive direct bookings, what marketing tactics you should be doing and how you can do them on your own, how to drive off-season reservations, things like that. So we take the education that we've learned internally here over the last 15 years of our history at rezStream and working with thousands of different properties ranging from bed and breakfast, hotels, motels, vacation rentals, property management companies, cabins, inns, resorts, and how they have adapted and how they have evolved and what they've learned and how to grow their business, sustain their business. So those are some good resources if you guys haven't taken a look at that. Okay, so today what I want to focus on here is I really want to focus on making more money, right, if you will. So that's kind of the theme I came up with today. A lot of the conversations I have with properties at some point in their evolution is, Josh, I've plateaued, or I'm going the wrong way. My numbers are down from the previous year or from my best year 3 years ago. How do I get back there? What are some ideas that people are doing? What are some tools that I'm not taking advantage of? So that's kind of the purpose here. So I want to show you 3 different things today. The first being yield management, the second being packages on the booking engine, and lastly, gift certificates here. Now, some of these may be common sense or things that you've heard of before, but in looking at the product usage across the board, when I'm in various different clients' accounts or working with clients, I'm not seeing overwhelmingly these particular things getting used. So I don't know if it's because it's a lack of knowledge or education on that particular topic. I don't know if you've tried it and it didn't have any success for you, or I don't know if you just, you're wearing too many dang hats and you just don't have the time to go in and do those things. So what I want to do today is I want to kind of show you how these things work, give you some practical examples, encourage you to do it yourself, and then as always, if you don't have time or you're confused or you need more help, reach out to me, reach out to the support team, and we would love to help you guys out here, because these 3 particular things can help you guys generate more money without necessarily changing your rates, right? So a lot of people I talk to, they don't like to necessarily raise rates or fluctuate rates because they don't want to, for a lack of a better term, piss off their repeat customers who've been coming year after year and have been paying the price that they've been paying. And so these items here maybe can assist in some of those ways. And then we'll kind of talk about that theory in general. So let's start with yield management, okay? So in the navigation here over on the left-hand side, if I go to configuration and I scroll down here to yield management, so how we've described it here is basic yield management automatically adjusts your rates in response to demand, okay? So if you have sat on these maybe about a year ago, I talked about this topic, and it's worth repeating over and over again. Now, this one doesn't necessarily avoid raising rates for repeat guests, but I'll talk about how we can circumvent that desire. But in general, I want you to think about the airlines, okay? The best example I can think of is airlines. My family and I, last year, we traveled to Cabo, and we traveled in September. Well, we started researching airline prices in about March. And at that time in March, prices were around $600 per person. Well, it's me, my wife, and my 10-year-old daughter. And I'm thinking $600 for a 2-hour, 15-minute trip direct from Denver to Cabo isn't that appealing. So I waited a little bit, and I went back and I looked over the summer. And in the summertime, that price had gotten down a little bit. It was around $450, and I was thinking to myself, okay, do I want to spend $450 times 3? I don't know if I want to. So I looked again more towards into July, early August, and the price had skyrocketed up to $800. And so at this time, I'm like, well, dang it, I should have pulled the trigger at the 600 or the 450, and now it's at 800. I'm not going to Cabo anymore, right? Then I came back more towards the middle of August, end of August, because I was going towards the end of September, so I still had enough time here. And the prices had dropped to around $300 a ticket, okay? So in essence, guys, what the airlines are doing is very similar to your properties. You have a fixed inventory, right? You have a specific number of rooms. Just like an airline, an airplane has a specific number of seats. And once that flight takes off, or in our case, once the day passes, we can no longer go back in time and sell our rooms, just like the airlines can't go back in time and sell their seats. And so what they're doing is they're fluctuating the prices based on supply and demand. And so when they have a full 150 seats to sell, they set that price, right? And as they start filling up seats, they're adjusting that price. And if they're selling them quickly, then they're raising the price because demand is high and supply is getting lower. And then towards the end of my research phase of buying that ticket, they had a bunch of seats left and they were worried about not filling all of them, so they started lowering the prices. So the same concept applies with lodging, right? And I want you to think about the chain hotels. They've got this down pat primarily because they understand the importance of it, and more importantly, they actually hire resources or a resource that does nothing but adjust rates on all the different channels, whether it's a specific OTA, Booking.com, Expedia, whether it's direct on their website, whether it's through the GDS, the travel agents of the world, or corporates, or what have you, right? So what we have built in the system, because we know most of you guys have limited resources, you're wearing multiple hats, and you just don't have time to go in and pay attention to supply and demand, what we built is a yield management feature here where you can create a rule based on different variables, right? And so you could come in here, and I'll just use an example that I have. So you could come in here and you can say, okay, when we're between 1 and 7 days out, and my occupancy is low, I'm actually going to do the opposite of making more money. I'm going to lower my actual rate by 10% because I have abundant of supply and limited demand, and so I need to lower the rate that I normally want to ask for, so that way I can get some heads and beds here, right? So similar to my last example on the airline, when the price was down around 300 bucks, I jumped on that because they're trying to get rid of those seats on that plane, because once that plane takes off, they can't sell that seat anymore, right? So here's an example of something that can be done to where you're lowering the rate. And then the opposite example I have here is doing the opposite. So when I'm 1 to 7 days out and my occupancy is looking good and I'm between 65 and fully sold out, I actually want to raise my rate by 20%, okay? So you don't have to use the examples I do. You can do some research or you can play around with it, but you can set this date to whatever you want, and you can set your occupancy to whatever it is that you want, and you can set whether you want this to be a fixed amount or a percentage. And so here's what the hotels live by, okay? All hotels, not all, but most hotels work off this season, right? And it's typically dependent upon your area. Most properties we work with, their busy seasons are the summer times, right? Then their shoulder seasons come to be, you know, maybe fall and a little bit into, you know, the November, December. And then their off seasons are typically December through, call it March, where they're not as busy. And so if you're in maybe a ski town or whatever, you're flip-flop of what I just described. But in essence, what the major chain hotels do perfectly is they pay attention to when they're busy, and they jack their rates up above their rack rate because they want to make as much money as humanly possible when they're busy. They want to leave nothing on the table. And then in their shoulder and off season, they're lowering those rates. And by yielding those rates in that fashion, by the end of the 12-month period, you're going to be further ahead because you capitalized and maximized on your busy season to take advantage of both the supply and demand chain at that time, right? So for you guys that have reservation software, you've been with rezStream, or we converted data for you, you should have years and years of historical information. And most of you probably know off the top of your head, okay, my busy season is, you know, whatever it is, May through September, and weekends, June, July, and August, I'm slam-packed, always busy, right? And then it starts to tail off other times. So you guys probably know exactly when you're busy and when you're not. Off seasons, midweek, most of you guys are probably slow. That's when we should be lowering rates instead of holding firm on that so we can get heads and beds, gain new customers. And then we should maximize in our busy season, especially on those weekends when we know we're likely to be 100% full based on history and events and things going on in town that people are coming for. We need to be raising our rates, okay? Now, some of you are probably thinking to yourself, well, damn it, Josh, you told me I wasn't going to alienate my repeat guests. So how the heck does that work? Well, what you can do, guys, even if you yield your rates, which you should all be taking advantage of, what you can do is you can create promotional discounts, right? And you could set that promotional discount so that way your repeat guests or those that are complaining because they're seeing rates fluctuate and you feel bad or whatever the necessity is, you can create a promotional rate that you hand give out to select parties. And those select parties can only use that promotional code to get your normal rate or the rate that they're used to or whatever discount you'd like to give them off so they feel appreciated and you retain that repeat guest, right? So just because you take advantage of something like yield management and the automation of yielding rates does not mean that you have to alienate your repeat guests, does not mean that you cannot do something creative for those guys. Now, with that being said, do not just create a promo code that is a discount off of your rate that you then promote on your website or email blast out to everyone, right? Don't do that, because now you're doing the opposite of what we're describing here. That's counterproductive, right? The goal is to make more money here, okay? And yield management is automated. You set the rule. You don't have to think twice about it. You don't got to log into the system. You don't got to edit rates or adjust rates based on supply and demand. You're never going to forget about changing those rates. All this stuff is automated, and that's the beauty of it, is it's saving you time while helping you make more money. Okay, that's yield management. Second thing I want to talk about here is packages, okay? Now, with packages, some of you, from my experience and conversations, you guys avoid packages because it's one more thing you got to do, it's one more thing you got to order, it's one more thing you got to deliver, it's one more thing you got to price, it's one more thing you got to sell, right? So that can scare some people away. But the way that I'd like you guys to think about this is that most of you aren't changing your rates, and most of you are price conscious to your competition's rates, and you try to align with them, right? So if the guy across the street or 2 blocks down is setting his rate at 150, you can't all of a sudden come in here and be at 175, because then people are going to be like, well, what the heck's going on? They look very similar in terms of their offering and their experience. Why in the heck are these guys $25 more expensive? So most of you are in line with your competition. Well, what packages allow you to do is it allows you to make more money on that single transaction without actually raising your rate and differentiating yourself from the competition, okay? So what I want to show you here is I want to show you these packages here. And so if you come into configuration and you come down to rates and taxes and you come down to packages, what packages is basically more than one point of sale item, okay? So we also have the concept of point of sale items. It's an individual item. It's a 1-hour massage, it's a bottle of water, it's a brownie, it's a coffee mug. It's one specific item that has a specific price. Well, a package is more than one item. So in essence, what I'm doing here with this romance package is I've added 4 point of sale items and created a package. I've called that package romance. I've allowed that to be booked online, and you see the individual prices of those items built into a package, and then you could then override what you want that package price to be. So if someone were to buy all 4 of these uniquely, maybe the total is $208, but if you buy them as a package, maybe the total is only $175 or whatever your price is, okay? So think of it that way. Now, when you build out that package, you add those specific items, you name the package, you determine if you want this bookable online or not. Then from there, you'll notice these other tabs. I can come in and I can create a description, and I can make it bold or underline or color it or whatever I want to do. And then I can add images related to that specific package. So that way, when I'm in my booking engine and someone is searching on their dates, they're picking their specific room, then they will get to the point where they have the ability to add these packages, and you'll see this romance package here with my description, with my picture, and I have the ability to add that. Now, granted, I've gone next level crazy. I don't know if anyone's going to be buying a $316 package here, so maybe that's a bad price example, but in general, someone adding this package to enhance their experience, to enhance their stay with you, is allowing you to have an increase in your average transactional amount or your average reservation total price without you then going in and adjusting your specific room rates that no longer aligns you with your competition if that is something that you're interested in. So you can have whatever packages it is that you want. You can have whatever individual point of sale items it is that you want, and it's very easy for people to determine the quantity and add those to the reservation. It's very easy if someone makes a mistake to remove those from the reservation. And when you are adding these things in here, they can then see that on that pricing invoice. It will now break it down as their per night stay, the rates with tax, blah, 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 as well as any extras, point of sale or package items, right? So I want you guys to experiment with this, please. Now, some of you are probably saying, I've tried it, it doesn't work for me, or you're saying, oh my God, I don't want to have any flowers in here because I got to order them 3 days in advance. I got to keep them on water. I don't have a green thumb. I'm going to kill them. Well, my advice then is think about, because you guys know better than anyone, think about why your guests are coming to stay at your property. What is it that they're doing? They're not staying in the room 24/7. So what are they doing? Are they hiking? Are they biking? Are they doing motorsports? Are they doing boating, fishing? Are they coming for a specific event? And then I want you to think about what type of package that you could create that you could buy in bulk at your Costco or Sam's Club or whatever your bulk stores are out there that doesn't expire quickly, so that way you can have it on shelf for a period of time, right? So as an example, if people are coming out there because they love to go hiking or they love to go biking, you could put together a package that includes some cheap sunglasses, protein bars, vitamin energy water or energy drinks, Band-Aids, a pack of 5 Band-Aids for their blisters or any of that stuff, right? That stuff you can buy in bulk at a discount. You can leave it on the shelf and it's not going to expire within a week like flowers are going to die, right? Let's say that people are coming to your specific property as couples for romance reasons. You could get fake petals of flowers with candles, if you allow candles near the bathtub, or bottles of champagne. All that stuff can be bought in bulk. You don't have to be live flowers, right? Massage oils, things like that, or lotions, right? So you can do those types of things. Let's say people are coming out there for whatever it is, fishing or anything like that. Could you get some bait? Could you get some you know, the hooks and things of that nature, sunblock, things of that nature, hats. Maybe they forgot their hat. They don't want their head to get burnt, right? Maybe they're coming out there for a specific a show. Maybe it's a band that's playing. Is there anything that you could package together that would make their experience more enjoyable? I don't know, shooters or disposable cameras or things like that, right? So you guys know your business, you know why people are coming to your area, and you know what it is that they're doing out there. So I want you to think about the packages that you could create that could help your incremental transactional total of revenue without changing your prices, something that can be ordered in bulk that you can keep in the back room on a shelf that isn't going to expire. So I would love for you guys to start experimenting with that. And if I've not done a good enough job explaining where to go, how to add these things, what it looks like on the booking agent or ideas, please reach out to me and I'd love to have that conversation with you. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about here that a lot of people aren't doing, but the people that are doing it very well, and it is a great source of income, is gift certificates, okay? Gift certificates, we all know what a gift certificate is. It's something that someone buys for themselves, but mostly for other people. And oftentimes in today's day and age, we all buy gifts for people, birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, thank yous, whatever, right? And people are often looking for unique and creative ideas. Well, what's more unique and creative than getting a gift certificate that either covers a stay or helps get a discounted rate at a stay that provides a memorable experience, right? Not a material possession, right? That a lot of people are thinking about or maybe desire. But at the end of the day, I think we would all agree the things that we cherish most in our lives when we look back are the experiences that we have with friends or family, loved ones, and memories that we're creating based on those experiences. And that's exactly what you guys offer. You're not offering some crappy material possession that requires battery and is going to break within a year. you're providing a memorable experience with friends and family, right? And so gift certificates are a great component of being able to share that and give that thoughtful gift and experience. So as an example, we have a marketing client that was fighting gift certificates for the better part of 2 years, and we finally talked them into trying it, and within the first 2 months they made $23,000. So it is material, guys. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen for you because everything's unique, but we don't know if it'll happen, and we don't know what it's going to do if we don't at least try it, right? Okay, on the navigation, if I come down to booking engine and I scroll all the way to the bottom, I'll see gift certificate options, okay? And what this allows us to do is this allows us to take gift certificates both in person, over the phone, and online. So this can be automated for you. I've got some people that will only sell gift certificates online because they don't want an additional step of management to do. Okay? So when you come in here, you have the settings tab, and it's telling you, okay, what is the title of this page? What is the gift certificate term that you want to use? How do you want to refer to it? What is the minimum value that you would like to set? So this is the minimum value that you will offer, and you have the ability to control this. So $50 or $100 is a good minimum value. I've even seen people go as low as $25 as well, and they're more in a quantity game in terms of making that revenue count. And then you can set the incremental value. So it has to start at 50, and then it increases by 50, which means you're going to get 50. 100, 150, 200, those are the options that they'll be able to select. And that's as it relates to online, and you'll see I can toggle this online. And then you can create a specific confirmation letter that gets delivered for the purchase of those online gift certificates. And then lastly here, you have the ability to add a fee. It's not required. It's something you can do if you want. It's something that you can make optional if you'd like. So maybe your state charges you, or maybe you want to help cover taxes. I have no idea what fee you'd want to apply to it, a processing fee or whatever. Maybe it covers the paper because you want to print out a fancy actual gift certificate that you hand to people. So it's up to you, but nonetheless, you've got some options. Then you'll see these other tabs. I've got terms and conditions related to the gift certificate. So be thinking about, do they expire? Does your state allow you to expire gift certificates, or do you have to honor it forever and ever until it's redeemed? Is it something that has a finite date? Do you have blackout dates? You don't want people to come during Valentine's Day or Christmas. Maybe you're closed or whatever it is. You want to get full price during those busy times. You don't want people to get any type of a discount. So that's really up to you. And then a thank you message if you want to have one as it relates to that gift certificate. But let me show you what this kind of looks like. So I'm going to jump into mine. So sorry, real quick here. When I toggle this to be sellable online, here's the link that I need to put on my website. And then they will get to a page that is themed similar to your website and booking engine. And then all of the items that you put in place will be on display. So purchase gift certificate. It starts at $50. I cannot go below that. When I go up, it's in increments of 50. There is my fee or optional. I don't know why I have 1 hour massage. I was probably trying to show people the depth of that. But nonetheless, it says here that there is could be a fee, but I've made it optional instead of mandatory. So if you don't have a fee, that wouldn't even display. I've got a note here that it expires. So it looks like my gift certificates I have set up to last 1 year from the purchase date. Then we've got purchaser information, which downloads into the system. You'll notice the bold fields are required, whereas these other non-bold fields are optional, just like how the booking engine works. Then you can collect recipient information, or someone can give that to you, but it's optional, not mandatory, so that you know who's buying it, who you're charging, and who's going to be redeeming it, the guest that's actually going to be showing up. Hey, guess what? I've just added another contact in my database that may be interested in my property that I could then do marketing material to. So this is also a way to grow your client base, okay? Another benefit of this. And then they have the ability to put in some messaging or requests or comments and things of that nature as it relates to the gift certificate. So this setup back here translates into this on my website. Okay, now this is my demo website. I want to show you an actual live client. So I've got Glen Laurel here. So up here, where do they put it? Over here. Okay, so up here within their navigation on their website, they've got a page dedicated to gift certificates. I click on this, I see a beautiful romantic pictures, and I've got this description: in Hocking Hills, we sell gift certificates, perfect, blah, 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 blah. And then I've got a specific call to action, which is purchase gift certificate, which then takes me to the page similar to what I showed you guys. Now on theirs, it looks like they have a minimum value of 100 and an incremental value of 50, and then the same purchaser information, required fields, optional recipient information, and additional messages. And then once you actually purchase and confirm it and all of that jazz and put in your payment information, then what happens is we have a section within the program, gift certificates, and you can then see these gift certificates, when it was sold, when it expires, sale price, what amount's been redeemed, remaining balance, and then you can actually dive in here and you can actually see the specific information that was downloaded from the online portal. And then you can also see which ones were sold directly in-house versus online on our booking engine, okay? So that kind of concludes what I want to share as it relates to gift certificates. So let me take you all back and just kind of recap high level here for some closure purposes. I'm a minute over and I apologize. But yield management. The purpose of yield management within the software, guys, is so that way you can take advantage of supply and demand. It happens automatically. In your busy times, you should be getting more money and taking advantage of when people want to come. And don't worry about raising prices, because people that understand your value are the very people willing to pay more money. However, for those of you out there that are either scared, worried, or paranoid about alienating your existing customers, as we discussed, you can create a promotional code and give that to them that only they can use, and you could put dates around that promotional code that they get that discount if you wanted. So don't be making excuses about alienated repeated guests, because I'm not hearing all that. Booking engine packages. Within our configuration section, we can create packages, and as we understand now, packages are more than one point of sale item. And the purpose of creating a package that people can buy is twofold. One, it will help enhance the guest's experience at your property for the reasons that they are coming to visit you, be it romance, hiking, biking, motorsports, events, fishing, whatever it is that they come for, and create a package that applies to those things. Don't just randomly create some crap and throw it up here. You got to put some thought to it. Why are people coming? What is it that they are asking for? What are things that would enhance their experience with that, and be very thoughtful for you? And then the second fold of that is, without changing your rates, it's a way for you to get more money on a per transaction basis without getting out of whack in terms of rates of competition, okay? And then lastly here, gift certificates. And the purpose of gift certificates is to allow people to share a wonderful experience at your property and give it to loved ones, friends and family, significant others, so that they can create great memories instead of piece of crap material items that require batteries and break. And it's a great way for you to generate additional revenue, as well as grow your customer base of people that may have never heard from you, but your guests are then sharing that information. So viral marketing, growing customer base, additional revenue, right? Okay, so that concludes today's theme of, making more money. We're in the off season, busy season's coming up for a lot of you, and how do we generate more revenue? And hopefully you've got some practical examples in our, 34-minute webinar here of where to go in the platform and some creative ideas. And guys, as usual, I am not off limits. I am available. I may not be the fastest to reply depending upon what's going on, but I promise you will get a reply, and you will get some thoughtful feedback, education, advice, consultation, or if you've got ideas on how to improve things that we don't have, I want to hear everything, please. So do not hesitate to call or email me. I'd love to hear from you guys. So thank you very, very much for attending today. We'll be doing this the last Wednesday of February. Greatly appreciate you guys as clients. Would love to hear from you about anything always. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.